Hi guys, welcome to Vesna TV. For today's video, I'm bringing to you 8 different Dollar Tree ornaments that you can easily do on a budget. For the first ornament, you're going to need a pine cone, some green acrylic paint, as well as either a cork from a wine bottle or one of these little birch stumps that you can get at the Dollar Tree as well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to paint this pine cone, but I didn't have the deep forest green, so I'm just mixing a little bit of black acrylic paint with that leaf green to give me a little bit of a darker green that I'm looking for. And then I'm going to paint this pine cone. And again, all these things you can easily find at the Dollar Tree, and they come in bigger packages, so you'll be spending about $2 on this DIY, but you will get more than one DIY out of it. So for about $2, you could get about 5 ornaments. And so all I'm doing is one ornament for you guys, but I'm painting it out green. You can see that the black added just a little bit of a deeper green than just the leaf green on its own, but you could totally just use the leaf green if that's what you wanted. So these are the wood stems that I was talking about. And once this pine cone paint dried, I just attached, hot glued, the stem to the bottom of the pine cone. They're all slightly different sizes, so I just made sure that this one would stand on its own if I wanted it to stand on its own. And then I just attach a little bit of jute rope to the pine cone, but just a very tiny piece that was left over from a different project. You could also do floral wire if you had it, or you could hot glue even an ornament hanger if you wanted. And there you go. There's one ornament completed. Here it is with a little bit of the brown showing through. I think it's a very cute little Christmas tree ornament made out of a pine cone. The great thing about this, you could even make it for free if you have pine cones and little stems or wine like corks at home. It could be a free DIY. Before I go ahead on to my next DIY, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Vesna, and this is my DIY channel. And on my channel, I do all sorts of budget-friendly home decor. So you're looking at any DIYs, thrift flips, trash treasures, or anything like that, I do it on my channel. And I really try to stick to a tight budget because I don't have a very big budget to spend. So everything is either Dollar Tree, trash to treasure, or even from the thrift store, or something that's been handed down to me. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, make sure you hit that big subscribe button, you hit that notification bell, and you hit that big like button, and leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite part of this video was. So the second DIY is also, the second ornament is also a dollar store ornament, with the exception of this little ring from a mason jar. And that was just left over from my canning jars, and it's a little bit rusty, so I didn't want to use it on my cans, so I'm using it here. You don't have to use this. You could use any kind of ring form. It could be from just if you took some floral wire and you wrapped it around together, you could use that. You could even use pipe cleaners if you wanted, but I'm using this because usually everyone has this on hand or can easily find it. They're not very expensive, and you might be able to get them at the thrift store. To be honest with you, I never checked the thrift store at the Dollar Tree. I never actually checked in ours, and I know in the States you guys have a little bit more than we do here in Canada, so you guys may be able to get these. Let me know. So anyway, you're just taking this and one of those Dollar Tree trees, and you're cutting off the branches and just wrapping them around the canning lid. And that's about it. You could use garland if you picked it up. They didn't have any more garland when I was looking for it, so I bought this tree, and I've used it for several projects. And all you do is wrap it around. Very, very easy ornament. So once you finish wrapping it around and getting it to the fullness that you want, then you can go ahead and make it snow covered. And I'm just doing this by applying some chalked linen white paint. You could use acrylic. This is the paint I was using for a previous project, so I had it on hand, so that's what I'm using. I also, the last little stem I wrapped around, but I left a little bit at the top so I could attach an ornament hanger to it, and it looks kind of like a wreath hanger. And so I'm just making the whole wreath snow covered because I love that look. And then I'm adding some leftover berries from another project, and I'm hot gluing those to this little wreath. So you could end here and it would still look cute. You could add, there's those little garlands that you can get, like those mini garlands that you can get at the Dollar Tree, but I chose to use these little berries because I had them left over. So I'm just hot gluing them around the wreath so it looks like it's snow covered and berry covered. So another quick and inexpensive ornament that will look cute in on any Christmas tree, especially if you're doing the farmhouse theme. So here it is, all finished in some pretty light, and I think it turned out gorgeous. Before I move on to my next ornament, this video is actually a part of my playlist, which is the 12 Days of Christmas, and where I've done a new video every day from, 12 days ago, because this is the last day of my 12 Days of Christmas. And to be honest with you, all these YouTubers that post every single day, all the power to you, and you are amazing, because this was tough. Working full-time and trying to post every day was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So let's move on to the next DIY. So the next DIY, I'm using these beads, which I also got at the dollar store. I got some at thrift store, some at the dollar store, and I am putting them on a skewer so that I can paint them in white. And I'm going to make little snowman ornaments from these. So I'm just using 3 for the head and the body, and using again my chocolate and white paint because I already had it opened and I had already used it for another bit of the project. So just painting them around. Then I wound up moving them to the edge so that I could paint them better, but it's just trial and error. You could put them on a string if you wanted to make it a bit easier and paint them on the string, or get a bit of a thicker skewer so that way it's a bit tighter inside so they don't twist around so much, but it wasn't too bad. And then you paint them and you let them dry so that way you can draw your snowman on them. So once they dried, I actually went and I just used my Cricut marker to draw on the eyes and the mouth, and to draw on a hat. And then I just used an orange marker to draw the little carrot nose. And then I put string through them and left a little loop at the top so that it could hang, and that's all there is to it. The string was thin enough that I could just put it through. I didn't have to do anything special for it. And here he is all finished. Now he looks like the paint didn't cover him all the way, but as you know, I always like to leave things a little bit rustic and a little bit dry brushed, so that's the approach I had here. I was going to paint him again, but I decided I liked the way he looked a little bit roughed up. So for my next DIY, I'm making a gnome, and if you've been following my channel this season, you know that I love gnomes. So this was another easy one. I just had this little piece of wood block. You could use your cell phone as well, but because I use my cell phone to record, I could not use it, so I used this little block. And I'm just wrapping string around it several times until I get kind of the thickness of my gnome that I want. So you'll see in a second. Can't tell you how many times I wrapped it around, but I just kept on wrapping around and around until, like I said, I got the thickness of my gnome, like the size of the gnome that I wanted. So here it is wrapped around several times. And then I just slowly removed it from the block and fluffed it over so that it would look nice, as so. And then I grabbed the top there and I wrapped the bottom string, a new piece of string that I got around and around the top of the gnome. So as you can see, if it kind of got a little bit mixed up there, you just want to make it so it's nice. And I kind of go from bottom to top and then back to bottom several times again, just until I get the right thickness that I want. And then once I finish that, I just hot glue the end to the back of the gnome, and that's all there is to the actual string part, and then you do your little decorating. For the decorating, I just had a little pick left over from another piece of floral, and I just cut that off and glued it to the top of the gnome. I thought I might use this ribbon, but I decided not to. And then I took one of those berries that I had left over, the smaller pieces, and I attached it to the pick. And then I also attached a nose, which I dipped a little bit into paint and then kind of wiped it down so it was a little bit of a lighter color, more kind of like a skin tone pinkish color rather than a red. And then I hot glued it just underneath the hat part at the front so it looks like he's got a little bit of a nose. And there he is, finished with the paint rubbed off a little bit, and I think he turned out really cute. Again, another simple, inexpensive ornament. And for my last ornament, I am using these wooden blocks. They're the tumbling tower blocks, and I'm painting them out in the chalked linen white. Now, I only need to do the one coat of the white because the blocks are so light, so you only need to do one. Once they dry off, I'm going to be making a snowman, a Santa, a Christmas tree on a red block, and then a Ray Dunn inspired Mary. And this, I'm doing 4 different kinds just to show you kind of what you could do with these. You could kind of do anything, and they're cute little ornaments. So for this one, I'm just going to paint the top red for a hat for the snowman, and I'm going to speed all of this up because you don't need to. I mean, you might decide to do a different design on yours, but this is just to give you an idea of what I did. The other Jenga block, I'm painting partially red, leaving a little bit where the Santa's jacket is white, and then I'll be going over top of it with a paint marker as well to add, you know how Santa has the red with the white fur, so to add the fur part. For the Mary, I'm just using a Sharpie to write the word Mary. I was having a little bit of a hard time, so I'm not gonna show you me fumbling around with it, but I just freehand wrote Joy and Mary, but then I decided I only wanted Mary. And then I wound up painting this one block completely red. I do the other one where I paint the back red and the front is the Mary. I was gonna do another design on the back and have it be a double-sided one, but then I just decided if I just do one side red and one side white, that's enough. And then I use a Sharpie and an orange marker to draw on the snowman, as well as my paint pen to add some white dots. And that's all there is to it. You can freehand draw anything you want. It's really up to you. It's not, I didn't do anything like specific where I traced something. I just freehand drew what I thought would be a good snowman and just added some dots. And then at the bottom of the snowman, I added a bit of red paint too for his scarf. I thought I was just going to do a black scarf, but then I thought, well, the red should match his hat. And then the snowman as well, I did the paint pen and I added the fur using the paint pen. Put a black belt on him with a little bit of yellow chalk marker because I didn't have any yellow paint that was nice and vibrant. I did, but it's very watered down, must be too old, so it kind of doesn't work like paint anymore. And then the last little block that I did, I just hot glued a Christmas tree that actually came off of an ornament, one of those little red car ornaments that you could also get at the Dollar Tree, little red pickup truck ornament. and it fell off, but I kept it, and then I just stuck it onto here. And then on the back of each ornament, I hot glued a piece of string so that you could hang it. And that's all there is to these. Again, very simple, a little bit finicky, but very simple to do, very inexpensive. Basically cost around $1. And so here are the completed ornaments. I have not hung them up yet. I just have them displayed on my fireplace over here. And again, I think they're cute. I wanted the fur on the Santa to look like it was actual fur, so it's not quite evenly painted, but I wanted it to look fluffy. And here are all of them again together. So here are all 8 ornaments, all Dollar Tree, all very easy to do, all beautiful farmhouse rustic type of ornaments, exactly like I like for my decor. And if you're watching my channel, you probably like that too. Thank you so much for watching the 12 Days of Christmas DIYs. I will link the playlist if you haven't had a chance to watch it. Also, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, and I'll just be posting a mega video next week of some Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs, and then I will have another large mega video on the 29th, and then in January I will go back to doing my DIYs, so don't think I'm missing. I'm just taking a bit of a much needed break from my full-time job as well as my YouTube. So thank you so much. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, whichever you celebrate. Thank you for watching, and leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of all of these.